You're inside a forbidden place, the Sultan's harem, a world no man enters without permission, unless they're a ghost, a fool, or a spy. You are not a ghost, not yet. And though the gold-latticed halls are silent, something in the air murmurs that you're being watched. Not by eyes, not yet, but by history itself. These walls, remember, it's not the heat that gives you away, not the way it coils through your borrowed silk robes like steam from a lidded pot, not the sweat pooling in your collarbone, not even the perfume of rosewater drifting down the corridor, thick as secrets and just as sweet. It's your silence, too quiet, too careful, too alert. The silence of someone who knows they shouldn't be here, which, to be perfectly clear, you shouldn't. You're standing just beyond the veil of the inner courtyard, where the women of the Sultan's household wander like mist. Your sandals are dusted with crushed petals and ash from a nearby brazier. A copper tray rests in your hands, empty, deliberately so, and every muscle in your body is pretending not to exist. You are a servant, or rather, you're playing one, and you're doing a fairly decent job of it if you don't count the sweat trickling down your back, or the single traitorous heartbeat pounding so loudly you're half convinced the guards can hear it echo off the marble. You steady your breath. You keep your eyes low. You remind yourself that this is not the first time you've lied your way through a palace, but it is the first time doing so in a place where men are forbidden entirely, the Sultan's harem, a garden of silk, secrets and swords, a place wrapped in so many layers of mystery, even the palace scribes lower their voices when they speak of it. And here you are, right in the middle of it. You didn't ask for this. Not really. You were perfectly content passing coded messages in bathhouses, bribing border guards, slipping arsenic into spice shipments. The usual quiet chaos expected of a young field agent under Ottoman command. But then came the letter. Not an official dispatch. No seal. Just a scrap of parchment folded into the shape of a tulip, left tucked beneath a loaf of bread at the market. Come alone. Dress modestly. Which is how you found yourself, seated beneath an awning 3 days ago, staring across a table at a eunuch with too many rings and too few teeth, who spoke with a lisp and smelled faintly of burnt cinnamon. He explained the task like it was a favor, a small thing, a nothing really. You will pose as a mute servant. The concubine named Layla carries whispers in her silk sleeves. She may be a traitor, passing secrets to Venetian envoys. The Sultan's advisors, they wish to be sure. Quietly, you were chosen, he said, because you were forgettable. A young man with no rank, no accent, no notable features, a shadow. And in the harem, they said, only shadows could survive. Your cover is simple. You are a mute servant, new, illiterate. You deliver towels and refill perfume trays. You sweep, you nod, you smile nervously when spoken to and bow more than necessary. And above all, you listen. You learn quickly that Layla, the concubine in question, keeps strange hours, that she speaks Ottoman with her peers, but whispers in Greek when she thinks no one hears, that she writes and then burns what she writes, and that she is beautiful in a way that is not designed to be noticed, which of course means everyone notices her. But to spy on her, you must survive her world, which means blending in among women who can read your posture like parchment. You find that the hardest part of being inside the harem is pretending that you aren't fascinated by it, not for the reasons others might think. This is no man's fantasy. This is a place of political chess, of alliances brokered over baths, of rivalries sewn into pillow seams, of soft hands that grip power the way assassins grip knives. These women, they know how to survive in a gilded prison, and the longer you're here, the more you wonder if they've already seen through you, especially her, Layla. She speaks to you once, just once. You're kneeling by the fountain, replacing a cracked ceramic bowl, when her voice cuts through the air like perfume through incense. I know what a soldier's shoulders look like. You freeze. She is not looking at you. Her back is to you. Her reflection ripples in the water like moonlight, but the smile in her voice is unmistakable. You do not respond. You cannot. Mute, remember? But your pulse responds for you. Wild, breathless, treacherous. Relax, she says, dropping a piece of candied fig into the fountain. I don't bite. A pause. Unless I'm asked to. You remain still, hand resting on the edge of the bowl. She turns, walks away, not a glance behind her. And just like that, you've been seen, not exposed, not betrayed, but noticed, which in your line of work is almost worse. The guards begin watching you more closely after that. Not openly, but you feel it, the eyes lingering a little longer, the questions that come too often, the way the linen deliveries are suddenly triple-checked. You begin to lose your edge. You skip steps. You forget names. You almost bow to the wrong woman. One who is known to loathe servility. And once, just once, you forget to smile. It's late. The gardens are empty. You're crouched beneath the terrace where Layla and another concubine are arguing in hushed tones. Something about silver, about a foreign map. When a shadow breaks off from the darkness and becomes a man. Not just any man. A eunuch. Tall, scarred, with eyes like wet coal. He does not speak. He just waits. And when you finally rise, empty tray in hand, trying to pretend you are fixing a broken oil lamp, he says one word, enough, and walks away. Now, this is where things begin to unravel. Not because you've been captured, not yet, but because you realize, in that moment, that your exit plan, your meticulously memorized escape route through the servants' tunnels, out past the laundry gate, is no longer safe. You've been watched for too long, mistrusted for too many days. The guards won't stop you tonight, no. But tomorrow they might. And you begin to understand something rather unpleasant. You may not leave this place alive. Let me tell you something. While you lie in your sleeping mat, pretending to dream, history is littered with spies who thought themselves clever. In the Ottoman Empire, the harem was not simply a place of beauty and indulgence. It was a political engine, a court within a court, where alliances were born and dynasties were undone. And yes, men tried to infiltrate it. From the Mamluks to the Venetians, from jealous rivals to hired assassins. The walls of the harem have absorbed more secrets than the rest of the palace combined. But the punishment, oh, the punishment. There were no trials, no debates. If caught, spies were silenced, often literally. Their tongues removed, their names erased, their bodies fed to the Bosphorus. Quietly, efficiently, forgotten. So when you curl tighter into your blanket that night, knowing your face may now be known, you aren't just afraid, you're nostalgic. For boredom, for bad food, for the safety of being invisible, for the life you once thought was dangerous. You decide to leave. It's not a choice, really. More like a whisper in your gut that won't stop. You pack nothing, carry nothing. You slip out beneath the curtain of morning fog before the braziers are lit, before the perfume trays are filled, before Layla can speak to you again. You pass the kitchen, the library, the pigeons cooing in their cages like tiny spies with feathers. You reach the outer corridor, almost there, and then you hear her voice, not behind you, above you, from a balcony. I told them not to kill you. You don't look up. You can't. But I didn't tell them to let you go either. The words fall like petals or threats. You pause, and then you walk. And you do not stop. You make it out. Barely. The stable boys sold your horse, of course, for cinnamon and wine. You steal a mule instead. It's slow, it smells awful, and it bites. But it carries you far enough to collapse into a barn outside a village you don't know, where you bury your face in straw, curse softly into the dark, and sleep. Not the sleep of victory, but the sleep of survival. Just barely. And this, dear listener, this is why one wrong move meant death inside the Sultan's harem. Because it was never just about secrets. It was about silence and shadow and knowing exactly when to vanish. You didn't fail, no, but you didn't succeed either. You became a name no one will write down, a rumor, a shadow in someone else's story. And yet, you lived, which in this line of work is almost a miracle. So rest now. The harem fades behind you. The moon keeps your secret, and the straw beneath your cheek is warm. Sleep well, brave whisper. You'll need it.